So, this story took place about 10 years ago, but I don't believe I've ever made a video about it. I met an Asian girl at a bar that I used to work at in Scottsdale. Now, Scottsdale, Arizona, but that's irrelevant. Asian girl, very cute. She's petite. She's just my type. Petite, Betty hair, haircuts, full, arm sleeves, good looking girl, fucking super hot. Well, after a few nights, of talking at the pub, went back to her house. We had our adult fun, if you want to call it that. Basically had sex. And after we did, 1 second, let me wet my whistle. After we did, she says, I didn't get off. And I was like, oh, well, what would you like me to do about that? You want me to go down on you? You want to, whatever. And she's like, well, actually, I've got this weird thing, and you might think I'm weird, but I can only really get off if I'm having anal sex and I'm, playing with myself. And I was like, well, okay. Well, okay, we can do that. We can do that. We got the rest of the night. Pick your poison. What is it you want? She's like, well, here's the thing, is I don't have any lube. I don't think I can take you in the butt without any lube. I was like, well, what do you suggest we do? And I'm not an anal sex guy. I can take it or leave it. If a girl requests it, I'll do it. Who am I to deny her pleasures, But that's not something I gun for, or request. But it's something that she requested. So, gentleman that I am, of course, you all know that, I said, well, okay, how about this? How about I go find something to use as lube? She's like, what do you have in mind? Yeah. How about cooking oil, vegetable oil? She's like, oh, yeah, that'll work. And I was like, okay, I want to go to the kitchen and get some cooking oil. She's like, yeah, it's in, the top left cupboard or whatever it was. Go out there. Never been in this house before. So I don't really know where I'm at, really. I looked around for the fucking cooking oil, but as your typical dude, it could be right in front of my face. I don't see it unless you point it out to me. That's the way that shit works in the kitchen. So, what I do is I look in the fridge. Now I know there's not going to be any fucking cooking oil in the fridge. That's ridiculous, right? But I found something. I had this brilliant, genius idea. Butter. Pretty much the same fucking shit. Vegetable oil. Pretty much the same fucking shit. Especially if you're drunk and you're about to have anal sex. You got to kind of improvise. So I flipped open this flap in the door. There's a stick of butter. One stick of butter. And it's already halfway used. Yeah, wow. This'll work. Put that motherfucker on a plate. Found the microwave. Put that shit in the microwave for 30 seconds. Boom. It didn't melt the stick of butter, but it made the ends very soft and warm. So I go back in the room. We'll just call her Asia. I'm planning on putting this in my novel, so I don't want to get sued if I use her real name. Call her Asia. Went back in there, and I told Asia, I said, well, I couldn't find the cooking oil, but I found this. And she's like, what is that? I said, just bend over, assume the position, I'll show you. And she did. And I put the stick of butter, not in her butthole, but I tickled her stink eye. I tickled her butthole with it. She's like, what the fuck is that? I said, you said you wanted some lube. And I said, it's butter. She's like, oh, think it'll work? I said, I don't know. What do you think? And she's like, it better. I said, okay. She said, put that on your dick, too. Okay. It was it reminded me of an eraser when you're in school, when you're trying to erase something, So, Okay, standing there behind her. We do our business. Do our business, right? Have butt sex, whatever. Who am I to be judgmental, right? Of all people. Well, we do that, and then we pass out. And then in the morning, I figure the least I could do for this lady, right, after having butt sex with her and putting a stick of butter, all over her bum, all over her arse, for you English people, all over her butthole, for you crass people, least I could do is make you fucking breakfast. Well, I had already put that stick of butter back in the fridge. I went out there to make dinner for us, right? Went out there to make dinner. I'm sorry, breakfast. Went out there to make breakfast, and one of her roommates, who I've never met, is out there, and he's cooking eggs and toast and bacon, breakfast shit. And that's what I was going to do. So I was kind of standing there, and introduced myself. Hey, I'm Zach, whatever. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm Rob. Oops, I shouldn't have used his name. Whatever, he's not going to watch this video. And funny thing is he's using that same stick of butter and put it on his toast. That had just been in her butt and on my dick. And I'm thinking to myself, I should probably say something, but then I'm thinking, nah, this is her roommate. I can't. It'd be like throwing her under the bus. I can't talk about no fucking butter. And then he's like, oh, I'm almost done here. And when he was like doing his toast, buttering it up with the same stick of butter that was up her butt and on my dick, he was like, well, no, I was like, but he was like, hey man, do you want some butter for your toast? Should I leave it out for you? I'm like, you know what? I like my toast dry. Go ahead and put that shit back in the fridge. That's my stick of butter story. It'll be in my novel coming up soon. But yeah, be careful if you're using butter and you have multiple roommates, because you never know where that stick has been.